Welcome to another video, and in this video we're going to do some tests to find out how Kiwi are you, or at the very least how Kiwi am I. You can play along too if you like. Okay, let's start off with our first quiz. It's called How Kiwi Are You? The most common New Zealand birthday. September, geez, I actually don't know this. I'm going to say September 23rd. Okay, we'll get the answers at the end. With the world's 9th highest life expectancy, you're looking forward to how many years of awesome Kiwiness? I think that's going to be 87. Ranked what in the world? You're happier than your miserable Aussie neighbours in 10th place. Are we that happy? Are we the 4th happiest? Oh, I'm going to call it down the middle, 7th. You think you're fluent in Kiwinglish. I've never heard that term. Which are you more likely to be heard saying? Ailu tumeke taonga. Or probably tumeke. You regularly describe things as... It's got to be choice. Australia versus New Zealand, 1981. The famous underarm incident. Never forgive, never forget.
We're going to go an underarm. We haven't believed it.
With how many billion in export sales, you know New Zealand wine is the best? Gee, I don't know, I feel like even the hardest drinker out here doesn't really care about how many billions the wine industry makes. 3.6. You consider what fish a staple food for children? Chocolate fish. Tell us the true meaning of Jaffa. If you're not from New Zealand and you're not familiar with New Zealanders, Auckland, our largest city, not the most popular city in the country, and a nickname for someone from Auckland is a Jaffa because it stands for just another effing Aucklander. You live in fear of the what parrot tearing your car into ribbons. It's the Kia. Very cheeky creatures. Which method of footwear is most acceptable? Well, in New Zealand, like barefoot or jandals, to be honest. But since it's in the picture, we'll go with jandals. All right, how did I do? What did I get? You're about as Kiwi as Crocodile Dundee. Get thee to Melbourne and trouble our fair land. What? Can I see my actual results? What did I get wrong? Those questions were actually genuinely hard and oddly specific. I mean, I can't say I ever learned at school how much money the New Zealand wine industry makes. Anyway, on to the next one. Here we've got a quiz made by a website called Kiwi Immigration. So I wonder if this is part of their screening test. If you don't pass this test, you do not get to immigrate to New Zealand. Do I make the cut? Should I be booted out of New Zealand if I fail this? All right, here we go. Good. A question about sheep. This is a real New Zealand quiz. How many sheep are there in New Zealand? Well, I know it's not as many as it used to be. I did learn that in school. So it's not 100 million. 5 million doesn't seem like enough. 10 million doesn't seem like enough either. It's got to be 26 million. Oh, and I can see results on this one. Yes, 26.16 million sheep as of June 2020. Please choose the correct name for a hill with near Porangaho. Okay. I have done this before. Do I dare try pronouncing these? I'm going to go with A. Wish me luck trying to pronounce it. It's been a while since I've tried. Taumata whakatangi hanga ko au o te mate pōka e whenua ki tani tahu. That was my best shot. Anyway, A. Yes, got it. Roughly translated as the summit where Tamatea, the man with the big knees, the slider, climber of mountains, the land swallow who travelled about, played his koauau flute to his loved one. Choose the correct statement about New Zealand. First country to give women the right to vote, first country to discover a proton, first country whose national conquered Everest, all of the above. Guess that's all of the above, because I know these are true. A and C are true. So let's go with that. Yep. Anything about the proton? I did not know that. What was the second popular religion in New Zealand in 2001? I think they mean the second most popular religion in 2001. Oh, no, I remember people answered Jedi on the census, but I don't think it was the second most popular one. I think pretty certain Christianity is definitely the most popular religion in New Zealand. Confucianism, that's not a religion as far as I know. Buddhism, let's go with Buddhism just because the others don't really add up. Really? 50,000 people entered Jedi. I knew about the whole Jedi thing on the census back then, but I didn't know 50,000 people actually put it down. Jeez. What is the country's biggest city in terms of population? Well, that's a pretty easy one. It's Auckland, isn't it? Okay, short quiz. Looks like I did pretty well on that one. Next up, let's go to how much of a New Zealander are you? Do you take your jandals, your togs, and your chili bin to your batch? Good old BuzzFeed, eh? As painful as they are, they're always up for making these quizzes. Question 1, and it seems to be just a one-question quiz. Okay. Check off all that apply to you. You prefer Marmite to Vegemite. I hate both of them, to be honest. You've had an argument over the origins of pavlova. Almost, but yeah, I'll tick that. You know what a batch is? Yep. And if you're not from New Zealand, a batch is a holiday house, otherwise known as a crib in the South Island, which is the next question. Either that or you're barefoot. To be honest, my mum wouldn't let me walk around barefoot that much, so I never developed the tough feet that a lot of Kiwi kids have. I won't tick that in, I'll be honest. You know, Whittaker's is the best chocolate. Damn straight it is. You grew up eating chocolate fish? Every now and then. And pineapple lumps? Yep, love a pineapple lump. Hokey pokey ice cream? Yep. Although I will say this next one on the list, Goody Goody Gumdrops. Goody Goody Gumdrops ice cream is far superior to Hokey Pokey ice cream. Come fight me on that. And lolly cake, so much. Oh yes, lolly cake. My nan used to make a great lolly cake. You know, New Zealand wine is the best on earth. There was a lot of questions about wine. I've had some good New Zealand wine. Is it the best though? I'm just going to leave that one. When traveling, you've had countless people ask you to say fish and chips and six. Yeah, once or twice. Usually those wretched Australians. And you've been asked an inappropriate question about sheep. Yes, usually those pesky Australians again. You've eaten a whitebait patty. Actually, I haven't. I've never been into seafood a lot, and whitebait just tastes too damn fishy for my liking, so I have to leave that one. You've drunkenly performed the haka. No, I'm not one of those people. That's just really cringe. You had a Bebo account. Yes, I did back in the, was it mid-2000s? I think I heard somewhere that Bebo was most popular in New Zealand and Ireland. The underarm bowling incident of 1981 still haunts you. Yes, that is a stain on sporting history. Almost as bad as the 2019 Cricket World Cup final. You're offended when people think you're an Australian. Well, I won't say offended, but yeah, it's annoying. You know at least one person who worked on either Xena or Lord of the Rings, actually. Yes, I know at least two people who worked on Lord of the Rings. Yeah, an old lady who used to live next door to us. She was a Hobbit extra. And I used to work with a guy who was the stand-in for Gimli on a couple of the movies as well. But that's definitely a thing. If you come to New Zealand, you'll seem to find everybody knows someone who worked on Lord of the Rings. You've been transfixed by the Cuba Street Mall fountain. Ah, yes, the bucket fountain on Cuba Street in Wellington. Australians complain about their insects, but you know nothing is worse, come on BuzzFeed, get it right, than the weta. Weta, very large insect native to New Zealand. They look quite terrifying, but they're actually completely harmless. You're going to get quite the shock when you first come across one. You only eat Wattie's tomato sauce. In our house, we were fans of the Whitlock tomato sauce, which is a very underrated tomato sauce in my opinion. Do like Wattie's tomato sauce, but it wasn't what we only had. There are many good tomato sauces in New Zealand. You said choice. Of course I have. It's not really a word you hear anymore. Back in my day as a kid, it was pretty popular. And you've watched every episode of Brotown. Actually, I have. Really good animated comedy from New Zealand. I think it was the early 2000s. You fly Air New Zealand for their safety videos and their lollies. It's always a nice touch that Air New Zealand hand out those lollies before you land. Their safety videos, I mean, Air New Zealand used to be a bit of a pioneer for their safety videos years ago. I think recently they've gotten a bit cliche and a bit cringe, to be honest. You know, I'm just going to leave that one. You went on a big OE after high school. Not after high school, after uni, and I think that's probably a bit more accurate. You've tried in vain to explain a flat white to Americans. Not really a coffee drinker, to be honest. You know that you must always blow on the pie,
3 o'clock in the morning, that pie's been in the warming drawer for probably about 12 hours. It'll be thermonuclear. You must always blow on the pie. I'm hungry. Always blow on the pie. Safer communities together.
You know, LMP is the best. It is. Actually, it is. It really is. You know what a Jaffa is? Well, we discussed that in the previous quiz. You wear jandals all year, even in winter. No. You prefer power fritters to potato scallops. In case you don't know, a power is a type of shellfish. I think outside of New Zealand, it's called an abalone, something like that. And I do not like them. So give me a potato scallop any day of the week. Your introduction to drugs and alcohol was by a giraffe named Harold. No, I guess I'm showing my age here or something, but that does not ring any bells for me. You believe Lewis Rowe Creamery chocolate milk is a gift sent from the gods. It's very nice, but I think it's extremely overpriced for what it is. So I'm going to leave that one also. You felt the pain that comes from being cut off a map. Yes, actually, I have been to theme parks around the world that have one of those globes, and they usually don't have New Zealand on them, which hurt me deeply. You spend way too many hours of your life inside the warehouse. The warehouse it's like New Zealand's version of Walmart. I try to stay away from it if possible. The place is just a mess. But yeah, I probably spent too much time in there. And you'll always remember their jingle, yes. You get excited when you hear New Zealand mentioned on an American TV show. Oh, we all do that here in New Zealand. Our Kiwi ears are not just tuned to hear the word Zealand mentioned in any movie or TV show made overseas, but we're also visually tuned to see the words New Zealand mentioned in an article. It's very exciting when that happens. How did I do? Show me my results. You're a Kiwi. You're so Kiwi. Congrats for being part of the best country on earth. Well, tell me something I didn't know already. And finally, I thought we'd end on another BuzzFeed one because I found the title of this to be most interesting. Are you a Kiwi or an Aussie? Choose between these icons to find out. Am I truly a Kiwi or am I actually one of those cursed Australians and I didn't even know it? Pick some slang. Chur, bro, or hey, mate. Now, obviously, I know which one is which, but actually, to be honest, I actually say mate a lot more than I would say bro. And I'm all about honesty, so I'm going to have to pick hey, mate. Pick a fruit. Kiwi. It's kiwi fruit. Get it right, please. Or an apple. Again, honest answer. As much as I do love kiwi fruit, I do love an apple just because they're just easier to carry around and eat. So I'm going to have to go with apple, I'm afraid. Never would have thought an apple is particularly Australian, to be honest. But pick an animal, wombat or a weka. Well, what kind of choice is this? While a weka is a New Zealand bird, they're considered to be a bit noxious, really. And a wombat, I mean, they're just so cute, aren't they? But if I had to choose one, I'm just going to go with a wombat because, I mean, look how cute they are. Next, pick a drink. L&P, Solo. That does not look like L&P. Actually, I don't know what a Solo is, but it's L&P all day. Caramello Koala or Whittaker's chocolate. Who the hell wrote this? What is a Whittaker's? Good grief, BuzzFeed. Well, it's Whittaker's chocolate, so no contest. Pick a movie, Mad Max or Lord of the Rings. Mad Max series, very good. Mad Max 3, though, did go down that whole child-friendly family movie route. Well, it's got to be Lord of the Rings, isn't it? I mean, Lord of the Rings is just epic. Pick a singer. Sia or Lord? Do I have to? I mean, I don't particularly listen to either of them, but I'll go with Lord just because she's a Kiwi. Pick an actor. Kate Blanchett, Russell Crowe. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, well, they're both Australian, aren't they? Well, Russell Crowe actually born in Wellington, and on numerous occasions he's tried to become an Australian citizen but has failed. Yeah, I'm going to go with our Russ, purely because if anything, he has embraced the pie and beer. Pick a band, AC/DC or 660. Well, I am no fan of 660 and their whole genre. And I'm actually not a fan of AC/DC either, but if I had to choose one, AC/DC are actually at least internationally well-known. So I'm going to go with AC/DC, I'm afraid. Quite a few well-known iconic songs. Pick a dessert, pavlova or just a plate of Tim Tams for me. I mean, Tim Tams are quite good, but they're not really a dessert, and it's got to be pavlova. And we know Aussies will try to claim pavlova. Pick an item of clothing, a hat or rain boots. Rain boots? Gumboots. Gumboots in New Zealand. That's what they're called. Who wrote this? Pick a beautiful landscape. Oh, it's got to be Mount Cook. I mean, look at that. The great thing about it is when you drive up to Mount Cook on that road, it actually looks like that. It's just like someone painted it. What do you call these? Jandals or thongs? Jandals. Finally, what do you call this? It's a chili bin. Well, there you go. I made the cut. You're Kiwi and proud to be one, mate. Keep telling people you aren't Aussie even when they don't believe you. Sure. I am indeed a Kiwi and not a closeted Aussie. How about you? Are you a closeted Aussie? If so, why not tell us in the comments below? Won't hold it against you. Some of my best friends are Aussies. Actually, they're not really. But anyway, or let us know how Kiwi you are. How did you go in these quizzes? See you in the next one.